to this episode of Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. I am part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and now podcasting. And today on Hank's Corner, I have a very special guest. I have Ashton Brooke Gill with us. How are you doing, Ashton?
Up? I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing well. And where are you calling in from today?
I'm actually calling in from a hotel room in Nashville.
Oh, okay. So what you doing out of Nashville?
I'm writing and hopefully recording some music. So I literally just got here 1 hour ago, and I hurried up, got dressed, and then put my like this. I'm like sitting at the nightstand right now. So
Well, thanks for
hopefully y'all
going
can
through all
see
that effort
good.
to get on Hank's Corner here. I appreciate
I
that.
know. Thank you so much for having me.
And any trouble traveling? I know right now sometimes it can be very difficult with a lot of the
No, it was
planes.
pretty. I didn't run into any traffic really. Maybe like one time, but no, it's pretty easy drive.
Oh, so you drove. Okay, well that makes it a
Hmm.
lot easier than flying.
Yeah,
So you're originally from Louisiana, correct? Is that where
I
you drove
am right
from?
between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, a little town called Livingston.
Okay, and tell me about that area of Livingston and Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, if you blink, you might pass by where I live because it's like such a small town. But I grew up and I went to French Settlement High School, and I graduated with about 30 people. And
Mm,
it's a public school, so it's not a private school.
wow.
It's just a really small school. And I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they never had beignets or king cake or anything like that. No, it's somebody from Nashville, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to bring a king cake up, but I totally like forgot, so I'll have to bring it up next time. But yeah, um, I've lived there all my life. I have one brother, and my parents are still together. Just kind of like I actually have a pretty big family outside of just my immediate family, so.
And I saw on social media you had a new addition to the family this year, correct?
I do. My
Tell us
brother
about
just got
that.
a puppy. Is that what you're talking about?
No, there was a picture of a little baby, that you said was a new
Oh,
addition.
yes, yes, that's my cousin.
Okay. How
Yes.
cute was that picture? I really enjoyed
Juliana.
that.
Yeah, she's so cute.
But
She's
also
so
got a
cute.
puppy as well, huh?
Well, yeah, just you have a puppy too. My brother just it's my brother's. He's always wanted a dog, and so he finally was able to get one this past year.
Okay. And 2021 was a big year for you. At least that's the way it appeared. I mean, it seems like you were all over the place. You were
No,
uh
it definitely was. It definitely was.
you I saw that you were out in St. Louis and Illinois, and it looks like you got a trip to the Grand Canyon, which I'm jealous about because I've never actually been to the Grand Canyon. I've flown over it, and I thought that was awesome enough. I can only imagine how it was there at the
It was
Grand
on my
Canyon.
bucket list. It was at the top of my bucket list, so it was really cool. And actually, one place that I was really surprised we got to travel to was White Sands Desert. I think it
Mm,
was in New Mexico,
okay.
maybe. I have to go back and check. I'm not exactly sure.
Well,
But
that's what
yeah,
happens when you're all over the place. You don't
I
know where you're
know,
at.
I know. But no, it was a lot of things have happened this year, and I've been very fortunate and blessed to have these opportunities. But yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
busy year.
and you still found time to, play in Nashville. I saw that you were at the listening room with my good friend Kirstie Kraus, and
Yes,
you also played at the Bluebird Cafe. I mean,
I
how,
did.
how did you find time to do all this stuff?
Oh, I don't honestly, I don't know. But we made it happen. So yeah, that had a lot of firsts this year. Like I did my first movie. I played the Bluebird for the first time. Actually, I was a kindergarten teacher for a bit. For the first time too. So
Tell me a little bit about that experience because it takes a unique personality to work with kindergarten children.
oh yeah, yeah, it definitely does. It was I learned a lot from the experience, and they're so cute and they were so fun, but like, music is like what I want to do. I had just taken the job as like it was a temporary position. And it was right around the talk of like in August when they were talking about COVID spiking back up. And I really didn't know because for like in 2020 the whole music scene was just like you couldn't go out and play places and stuff. And so I just felt like it was the right thing to do at the time, and I feel like I learned a lot from it. And yeah, so now I'm done with it, done with teaching, and now I am pursuing music.
Well,
and see what
well,
happens.
thank you for doing that because I mean, obviously, you probably just needed to make some money. That's one of the
Right.
considerations about a job. But to take a job on like that, I'm very thankful of the teachers, and no matter if it's kindergarten all the way to high school level, each one brings something unique. But it is a tough position to fill,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful that of all the jobs that you picked, that's what you did. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was fun. I'd bring my guitar in class and make up songs for him and everything. So it was fun.
Okay, and yeah, I see that you have the guitar there. Would you mind starting us off playing a song for us?
Sure. Okay, so this first one that I'm gonna play for you guys is called Running Out of Reasons. And it was my newest single. I released it this past year or last year, 2021.
Yes. Isn't that weird? That was last
Weird.
year.
Yeah, but it's called Running Out of Reasons and yeah. Stop, boy, you make it look easy. The way that you drive me crazy. All my friends say lately there must be something, but I say there's nothing between us. Oh, but you keep calling me way past too late. I don't really mind. I like spending all my time with you. I keep counting up, tell myself it isn't love, making excuses for these feelings, but I'm running out of reasons. Boy, your arm falling on my shoulder, want you to stay over. Oh, you're making my heart race, and I don't know if this is what you want. I won't admit it, but it's hard to fight it when you keep calling me way past too late. I don't really mind. I like spending all my time with you. I keep counting up, tell myself it isn't love, making excuses for these feelings, but I'm running out of reasons. Why do I keep telling little white lies? I'm only fooling myself. When you keep calling me way past too late, I don't really mind. I like spending all my time with you. I keep counting up, tell myself it isn't love, making excuses for these feelings, but I'm running out of reasons. Running out of reasons. Stop, boy, you make it look easy. The way that you drive me crazy. There must be something.
And that was Ashton Brooke Gill here on Hank's Corner singing her latest song, "Running Out of Reasons,"
Woo.
and that was great. I love that song. I know I've listened to it a few times, to say the least. And tell me, how did you get from a girl in Louisiana, a little girl, all the way to now in Nashville, singing things like "Running Out of Reasons"? Tell me about your story.
Yeah, so I have basically been singing all my life. Like, grew up singing. My mom sings, my grandma sings. They both play the piano. So pretty musical family. Um, and I grew up singing in church, and that's always like been super important to me. Um, and about, I don't know, 2018, I believe it was, I decided I was on my social media, and this is I was in college. I was going to be a music major. But I knew I was going to be a music major, but I also wasn't sure what I really wanted to do. Because I always kind of wanted to do something in the medical field. My mom's a nurse, and so like I kind of maybe thought I'd go in that direction, potentially. And so I was a music major, and then in my head I was like, I'm gonna get my minor in music and then I'm gonna apply to nursing school. And so that's what I did. I applied to nursing school, and while I was once I got accepted to nursing school, I happened to be on my social media one day, and I like kind of grew up and I had always had people tell me, oh, you should try out for American Idol or whatever. And I was like, no, like what are the odds of like me getting on a show like that? And so, but I saw that they were having auditions in New Orleans, and just like randomly, I was like, you know what? I might sign up. Like, why not give it a try? And so I did. I signed up for the show American Idol.
The show. What's your name?
Ashton Gill,
And where are you from?
Livingston, Louisiana.
What are you going to sing today?
Broken Halos by Chris Stapleton.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly, come to teach us, then they leave us, and they find some other soul to sing. Broken halos, they used to shine.
I love how country your voice is.
Thank you.
You've got
Yeah.
a certain quality of, I mean, when I say country, I mean, you've got the
Sweetness.
You've got the country in it.
Thank you.
Let's vote it up.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's a yes for me.
Thank you.
You have an opportunity to sell your voice the way you sing only. It's a yes for me.
Thank
okay?
you so much. Oh my
It's a yes for me. I
There you
love
go.
it. Stay in your lane.
And I saw the audition, Broken Halos by Chris Stapleton.
Yay.
I guess Chris Stapleton is one of your influences, and I thought that was a great job. Was there any reasoning why you picked that song in particular?
Um, no, actually, well, so like whenever you do American, I actually had a lot of other songs that I like picked first, but they do kind of tell you like, oh no, don't do that one, do this one, or like they give you advice and stuff like that.
And I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, and so I kind of just was like, it was like the week before, and I was like, I need to find a song like that, So it was kind of just like I picked that song because at the time, like that's one of the ones that I just really liked. And so yeah, I mean, I love Chris Stapleton. I love his music. I think he's so talented, and I do listen to him a lot. I don't know that I would say that he's one of my influences, but I do really like his music, and honestly, if I could go back though, I would probably do a different song than Broken Halos, just because I go back and watch the audition and I'm like, man, I don't feel like that captured, what I can do with my voice. And if I ever did go back, I would probably, pick something different.
And that's interesting that you said that because I had Megan Knight on my show, and she was one of the ones that also did American Idol, and she kind of, said things that were similar. That I guess, when you're performing for a particular, established venue, you have to kind of play by their rules a little bit. And she kind of said that she wished that she had done something different. So
Yeah.
that's interesting, for the audience to hear because we see one thing, but we don't really get to see what goes on behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, before you even get to the judges, there's like a whole nother, audition round. So like when I went to New Orleans, that wasn't for the judges. That was for like the producers for the show. And you wait in line all day or whatever. And I actually auditioned with 3 different songs. Whenever I auditioned in New Orleans, I auditioned with Tin Man, Miranda Lambert. I auditioned with Bobby McGee by Janis Joplin and House of the Rising Sun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was like
That
3
New
in one.
Orleans vibe right
Did all
there.
3 for them. And then you go in front of the judges, and then it's a whole different list of songs that you have together. But yeah, that kind of obviously like the audition aired, and I got a lot of following from it, and that has opened a lot of doors for me to be able to like come to Nashville and do things over here. So yeah, that's kind of my story.
Yeah, and that's great that it opened up those doors, and I see that you're out there doing your own thing. But what I also see is that you do a lot of things that benefit things in society, whether it's charities or you were kind of
Yeah.
telling me about that. You have this song called "I Will Stand"
Mhm.
that you brought out. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have a song called "I Will Stand." It's not like recorded yet, but it's one that I would like to get recorded. But after American Idol, I had a guy named Corey Greenwood reach out to me through social media, and his story is, I mean, like, he's been through a lot, but like he uses his story to help other people. And if you don't know him, then you should look him up because he's great. But he goes around and he speaks on suicide prevention and mental health awareness. And so 1 week before I I went to travel with him to sing at a few schools before he spoke at the schools, and hopefully like I'll get to do that more. I like love like what it stands for and everything. But yeah, I wrote a song, kind of just trying to like bring in awareness for just like loving somebody through mental health awareness. I mean, mental health illnesses or like
Hmm.
depression or whatever. So yeah, that's what the song "I Will Stand" is about.
Yeah, and like I said, I appreciate when artists, do that. They'll use their platform to, help benefit society or help, bring awareness to certain causes. And the mental health thing is a very near and dear. I can't talk tonight.
Yeah.
Topic for me, because part of it is that it is kind of shunned. There is kind of a stigma behind it.
Yeah.
It's still kind of laughed at or say, hey, just deal with stuff. But really, it is something that's very prevalent. And when you and your friend get out there and talk about these things, it makes people think that, hey, I'm not just supposed to be, looked over or anything like that. So I
Right.
definitely appreciate you doing that. Would you mind singing that song for us here on
Yeah,
Hank's Corner?
absolutely. So this is a song called "I Will Stand." Don't give up now. There's a light in the distance, and I know it feels like something's missing, but a little love, it can make a big difference. So I will stand by you. Yeah, those dark days, they can really get you down, but don't worry. The sun comes back around, and when it seems like hope will never be found, oh, I will stand by you. When you feel like you're all alone, I'll be there to help you carry on. Whatever this life holds, I'll hold your hand. No matter what you're going through, I will always stand by you. When it gets heavy and it starts to weigh you down, there ain't nothing I wouldn't do to help you out. I come running, yeah, keep you safe and sound, though I will stand by you. When you feel like you're all alone, I'll be there to help you carry on. Whatever this life holds, I'll hold your hand. No matter what you're going through, I will always stand by you. Yeah, I've been there, and I know how it feels, and I'll show you. My love for you is real, little by little. Time can only heal, so I will stand by you. Oh, I will stand by you.
And that's Ashton Brooke Gill here on Hank's Corner. That is such a lovely song. And once again, thank you for taking that, platform on and bringing awareness to that subject.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I mean, I'm sure like we can all think of like somebody in our life, you know, that's been affected by whether it be like depression, anxiety, you know, any kind of mental health thing, you know. I feel like we can all like name somebody that, you know, is close to us that has struggled with that. If we haven't like struggled with it ourselves, you know. I think at some
Right.
point everybody goes through like tough stages. So yeah, it was just kind of like a song, like just a reminder. Just stick by those people and you know, even like sometimes I don't know. Sometimes just being there is like all you can do.
Yeah, and playing that song is kind of twofold because, like you said, you are bringing awareness, but at the same time, music in itself is a great thing of therapy to where whether you're playing it or people are
Right.
listening to it, it gives them a little bit of an outlet to feel better for the duration of that song. I mean, I assume that's part of the reason why you write to express some of your emotions, correct?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. So one of the things I did want to talk about was that I saw a video on your YouTube channel where
Mm,
you're singing "How Great Thou Art,"
yeah.
and if I may be so bold in saying, I really love that, and it
Mm,
just made me think that that's what music is all about, right there. Because
thank-
you had a great rendition, it was great entertaining, it was great vocals, it was just top notch all around. But at the same time, why I say it's the reason why music was there is because you're giving glory back to God, and I
right.
really just fell in love with the way you did that.
Mm.
Tell me a little bit about your faith and how that influences you.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, like, you know, I grew up in church and grew up, you know, my whole luckily, like you know, my family brought me to church at a very, very young age, like before I was even born. Um, and I think I was around, you know, probably around 11 or 12. And, it was kind of one of those things, you know, like I think a lot of people, well, I don't know. I guess I like at that point in my life, like I realized that I was just kind of like going to church because you know my family went to church and everything, um, and it was more of like a religion to me in a sense. Like it was just like I, you know, went through the motions or whatever. But when I was 11 or 12, I realized that I had never like really like surrendered my life to God, and like really given my life to Him, and so it was kind of like one of those things where it's like okay, I don't know. There's a difference in, you know, believing in God and then, you know, like living your life for him, if that makes
Sure.
sense. Because I was actually it's funny that you say that. I was literally just talking to somebody about this the other day, but yeah, so anyways, well, I was gonna say like there's a difference in, you know, believing in God because in surrendering your life to him because it's like, you know, you say like, well, I also believe in the devil, but like what's the difference? But it's like you living your life, you know, wanting to like please God. And so anyways, I don't know, that was just like super random like thought. But anyways, yeah, so I gave my life to Jesus when I was 11 or 12 years old. And ever since then, like I just kind of like my prayer was always like, God, like use me, you know, help me to be a light for you. Like, you know, I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, but like, you know, just I pray that like people will see Jesus through me, you know, and hopefully that they do, you know, through music and just the different things that I go through in life, you know, and so like that's kind of like my story with my faith and it's
Yeah,
like
and I'm
simple, super simple, but that's how like that's my story.
Well, and that's how it is. The gospel is very, very simple to begin with, although it's very in depth, and nobody can fathom the whole totality of it. But coming to
Right.
Christ is something simple that a child can do, and I appreciate you using your platform to do that because there's some music artists that will profess that they're Christians and they are, and but they play whatever it is that they're doing in the popular secular world, but you're bold enough to put these Christian songs right there on YouTube for people to
Yeah.
listen to, and that's taking it to that next level. I love it.
Yeah, and it's funny, like it's in you know in the music industry, you're which I mean I understand why, but you know they're like you know you have to stick to a certain genre or whatever, and I like you know Christian music will always be. I still like lead worship every like whenever I can and I have the opportunity to, but like you know like Carrie Underwood, like she sings country music, but she did her rendition of How Great Thou Art. And, you know, she just released her little album with all her hymns, like, and that's kind of like what
Mhm.
I grew up on, you know, as a Southern Baptist.
Exactly. You have, modern day artists like her and then, Alan Jackson that put out a gospel. And then you go all the way back into the early, forms of country where you had, Elvis and Johnny Cash doing the same thing. So you're in great company.
Right. Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and play that video here on Hank's Corner. Here is Ashton Brooke Gill singing How Great Thou Art.
Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou
And that was How Great Thou Art by Ashton Brooke Gill. And you're on Hank's Corner. So, Ashton, you had a great 2021, like I said, and you got 2022 that's already we're a few days into it,
Right.
but you already have stuff on the horizon. I mean, tell us a little bit about your plans for 2022.
I do. So, yeah. So, like in 2021, I mentioned this to you earlier, but I actually had the opportunity to be in a feature length film called The Author. Um, and so we filmed that in Houston and Kansas City, in Conroe specifically,
Okay.
Conroe, Texas. Um, Shout out to them because they were like an awesome
Yeah, I got a bunch of people in Conroe, so
group of people. Oh, you do? Awesome. Well, they
yeah,
are
because I'm
awesome.
originally from Texas.
So sweet. Yeah, so we filmed a movie out there, and I played a musician in it, and I got to actually write some of the songs for the movie as well. And so that's coming out probably, I think they're like aiming for March, April 2022. So that'll be like a really exciting thing.
And can you tell us a
And
little bit about
then
the backstory of the author?
yeah, so that's one of those things that I tell people, like, I can't talk about it without saying it's a God thing. Um, and it is a long story, and I could probably sit here and talk about it for like 30 minutes. But long story short, I met the film writer. Sounds a little sketchy, but it's not. It actually happened. I met him on a airplane. After American Idol, I had this jewelry company from Clarinda, Iowa, reach out to me to fly up. Well, originally they just reached out. They wanted to sponsor me, and I post pictures with their jewelry, and they'll send me the jewelry. And so I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, after a few months of doing that, they wanted to fly me up there to go play a show. And I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. That's so fun. So I accepted the offer, and I was on my way, and I was getting on the airplane. Well, so I don't like, at the time, I didn't like flights. And I tried to, my mom was on the same flight, but she had booked her ticket literally like a few days before. Like she wasn't gonna go, and then all of a sudden decided she was gonna go. Well, somehow she got like a really good seat, and I was literally at the back of the airplane, and I was like, maybe if I tried to, sneak on with my mom, they won't notice. But they did. And the guy was like, no, you need to go to the end of the line. You can't skip the whole line. I was like, okay, like I know. So, anyways, instead of going to the end of the line, I waited at the beginning of the line. And as I'm just sitting there waiting, I was playing on my phone. And I'm not like typically one to like play on their phone like when I'm around people. Because I like to be intentional and talk to people and get to know people and like where they're from. But I was on my phone, and something in my head was just like, you need to put your phone down. Like you just like need to put your phone down. And so I did. I was kind of standing there, and I like the first person that I saw, I started talking to them. Because I literally feel like I could talk to a wall sometimes. But yeah, so I just started talking to them, and that conversation died down, and the guy behind him was the film writer. And so looking back, like he says, he's like, you literally looked like the exact like vision of the girl that I wrote for the film. Like he's like, it's almost like God like put you there because you were standing there with your guitar, you had your hair in a braid to the
Mm.
side, and that's kind of like the style of my character. She's very like boho, like just the way I was dressed, he said, like literally just looked like the character. And like um just like my appearance in general, he's like, you just looked exactly like what my mind saw whenever I was writing the script. And he was like, I thought that was so strange. And so anyways, I get on the plane, and for some reason, and I don't remember which airline we flew with, but the flight attendant was so rude to me. Because I got on the airplane, you're like a musician, you're gonna travel with your guitar, but it was like a packed flight. There was no more seats left. Like every seat was full, and I get on with my guitar. I'm the last person to get on, which is weird because like that's never happened before. And she got on the intercom, and in front of the whole entire airplane, she was like, "Oh my gosh, somebody brought a guitar. Did anybody else bring a kitchen sink or maybe like the washer or the dryer? Like just really, really rude. I never had that happen
Wow.
before. But what's really funny though is that it kind of like aligns with like the story of my character in the movie. So she's like, you just have to watch the movie to see. But it's funny because like he still like the film writer still remembers like her saying that because he thought it was so funny. He's like that even aligns with like the characters, problems in the film. And so anyways, that little small talk that I talked to him whenever we were in line, I had mentioned that I was on American Idol. And so he said he went to go sit down on the airplane, and he was like, I'm gonna look this girl up and like see her audition. And he said he was like in shock because he had literally just came across my video about a week before this flight that we were
Mm.
on, and he literally in his head was like, oh, this girl would be like perfect, like she looks like she'd be perfect for the role of Sarah, but like no, she's on American Idol, like that's never gonna work out. And here I am on the airplane 1 week later. So that's just kind of like a cool story. That's kind of how it came about. But yeah, the film's supposed to release in 2022 in like a few months. So
All
and we're working on the music for the film right now. So
Well, it definitely sounds like you were, made for that, that movie. And you said that you have a song that you wrote for the movie. I'd love to hear it if you
yeah,
would.
I do. I have a few of them, but this is gonna be one of them. It's called Brighter, and it's a road trip movie, kind of. So it's kind of like a little road trip song. Midnight driving, county lines and checking signs along the road. It's getting darker, not much farther, a few more miles left to go. Everything I'm missing, shining in the distance. 'Cause you're my Friday night, cut the lights, climb the water tower. Lit up skies in your eyes, get lost in them for hours. When I'm beside you, everything's brighter, 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 brighter. And now I'm taking chances, slow dances. You were the spotlight on the floor. Yeah, the real thing, this kind of feeling always leaves me wanting more. Everything I'm missing is shining in the distance. 'Cause you're my Friday night, cut the lights, climb the water tower. Lit up skies in your eyes, get lost in them for hours. When I'm beside you, everything's brighter, like the local stars and old guitars singing every song we know. Crazy hearts, a world sparks rising on bonfire smoke. Higher and higher, everything's brighter, 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 brighter. Midnight driving, county lines and checking signs along the road.
And that was Brighter by Ashton Brooke Gill here on Hank's Corner. That's going to be for an upcoming movie called The Author, and definitely going to be forward to that. And is there anything else that we should be looking forward from you in 2022?
Hopefully more music.
Okay. And hopefully, with the restrictions, maybe they'll die down and you'll get out to do some more touring.
Yep, that'd be awesome. That's
And
the goal.
obviously, if you ever make it out to the Tampa Bay area, would love to see you. I'll definitely be a front row with that. But Ashton, I want to give you a lot of thanks, for coming on today. I know you, like you said, you just got there, and but I appreciate you being on Hank's Corner, and you're welcome to be a guest at any time.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.